The Detroit Lions might have been given the blueprint to being able to beat the San Francisco 49ers. And you know who gave them the blueprint? It was the Green Bay Packers. When we saw the 49ers last week barely escape with that W against Jordan Love and the Packers, what went wrong for the 49ers? Well, for one, they couldn't get after Jordan Love because Green Bay had a really good offensive line. 2, they couldn't stop the run. And 3, their secondary was getting absolutely terrorized because their secondary is average at best. And the Detroit Lions have everything to replicate the same game plan, if not better, than what the Packers did last week. You got a elite offensive line. The Detroit Lions are one of the few teams in the NFL this season that you can truly say had elite offensive line play. You're getting fantastic quarterback play out of Jared Goff. How Jared Goff has played for the Detroit Lions the last couple of years has been absolutely outstanding. He's been a top 10 QB this year. He's efficient. He can kill you in a quick passing game. He's also really accurate, delivering deep passes downfield. You got great receivers. So you look at how much success the Green Bay Packers had throwing the football against this San Francisco 49ers defense. Detroit should have the same amount of success, if not more success, because you got a better offensive line. The 49ers, you look at all of the big names that they have on their pass rush. Nick Bosa, Arik Armstead, Chase Young. Nick Bosa has had a down year this season. Chase Young hadn't even heard of the dude ever since they first gave up a third-round pick to acquire him. If you can neutralize the pass rush of the San Francisco 49ers, you can move the ball on this defense. Yeah, they got a really good group of linebackers led by Fred Warner, but the 49ers defense only looks good on paper. When they go up against an offense that can hold their own up front and minimize the amount of pressure that they can generate on the quarterback, they find themselves in a lot of trouble. And prime example, last week, look at what Jordan Love did to that secondary. Charvarius Ward is, in my opinion, the most overrated cornerback in the National Football League. He's not terrible, but he's not great. He probably, to me, is a top 20, top 25 cornerback. But some people may argue that he's a top 15 corner. I don't think he's that good. And with the injury that they had to Hufanga, that also was a big blow to that secondary. And Steve Wilks, he's a good defensive coordinator, but he's no DeMeco Ryans. Going up against Ben Johnson should absolutely dominate when it comes to the matchup between him and Steve Wilks as play callers. And plus, another thing that the 49ers don't do well defensively that Detroit does fantastic offensively is stopping the run. Detroit has pretty much the best 1-2 punch in the NFL at the running back position. David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is lightning. He's a threat to take it to the house every time he touches the football. And David Montgomery is thunder. He's not looking to get all of the big, explosive, flashy runs that Jahmyr Gibbs gets, but he's one of those running backs that's looking to get the football, get north and south with the ball, and run your ass over. The 49ers couldn't stop Aaron Jones last week. Aaron Jones, the way he played, you would have thought that he was the second best running back in the NFL on the other sideline across from Chris McCaffrey. The 49ers have so many big weaknesses that makes me surprised that they're now a 7.5 point favorite against the Detroit Lions, because I truly believe that the gap between these two teams is not 7 points. If I was an odds maker, I would have the 49ers favored by 3 points. Because your defense, unless you can get a consistent pass rush, isn't going to be able to slow down Detroit's offense. The only reason why I believe the 49ers are going to be able to get this win, and I don't say it with a lot of confidence that they're going to win, is because I don't trust Detroit's secondary at all. Yeah, I shitted on your secondary not too long ago, but you got a decent, average, maybe above average secondary at times when everybody's playing well. But for the most part, I think you have an average secondary. The Detroit Lions have a below average secondary. Outside of Brian Branch and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, their secondary sucks, man. You had Kirby Joseph, who I was a big fan of. You know, he's somebody who kind of had a great rookie season, and then his play has kind of dwindled down the stretch the last couple of years. Your cornerback play, Cam Sutton, Yeah, against Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, the 49ers should just automatically bomb him anytime he lines up against one of those two guys. Anytime you got Cam Sutton matched up on anybody, teams run whoever offense on him. And they were running whoever offense on him last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, he did have a couple of big plays that he made, but he gave up a lot of big plays also. He's not that good. The Lions don't have a dependable secondary. The only thing about their secondary that they do well is force turnovers. That's about it. This is one of those games that I believe is going to come down to whoever gets the last possession on offense. If the 49ers get the ball last, I believe they're going to be the team that wins the game. If Detroit gets the ball last, they're going to win the game. Detroit just has so much talent offensively that when we look at how the 49ers defense played last week against Green Bay, they should be able to replicate that same formula that Green Bay was able to execute against this defense, take it, expand upon it, and make it better. There's not a single thing that the Packers did last week that the Detroit Lions aren't going to be able to do against San Francisco. San Francisco is one of those teams that gets hyped up because of the big names that they have, because they have so many players that are considered to be the best or one of the best at their position that it's easy to overlook their flaws. But there are a lot of weaknesses that the 49ers have on the defensive side of the football that can be exploited. And I believe that the Detroit Lions have a great chance to exploit those weaknesses, and they eventually could maybe walk away with the upset. I would not be surprised if the Detroit Lions win this game. I've been saying it all year. I've been saying it all week long that don't count out the Detroit Lions. Like, for the people that are taking the 49ers to cover -7.5, you got some big balls. Not saying that that's going to be the wrong decision, because I definitely could see the 49ers running away with this game in blowout fashion. But Detroit, just with how much talent they have on offense, having Ben Johnson as their offensive coordinator, who a lot of people believe could be the second coming to Sean McVay, I'm just going to have a hard time seeing the Detroit Lions getting rolled over by San Francisco. They can run the football. San Francisco isn't that good against the run. They do a great job at protecting Jared Goff. The 49ers got a good pass rush, but it's having a down year compared to how good that pass rush has been in previous seasons under the D'Amico Ryans. And two, their secondary isn't that good. The Lions have a really good group of receivers and a lot of weapons to work with in the passing game. You got to worry about Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jahmyr Gibbs can also be a factor in the passing game. Detroit definitely has the blueprint to being able to pull off this upset.